All right, good morning, everyone that's here on the live chat and the live trading. Just wanted to walk through some of the levels on the uh, E-mini this morning that we're going to be watching. In particular, 2725. We're looking for an entry there, and we'll just take a look here at some of the levels. Let's get these drawn out. 27. One second. We've used 2717 in the past. That's been a level that we've used for support in trying to time our entries. So 2725, this is what our target entry is for today. And we'll take a look around 2730, trying to get out. And again, I know we've done some trades in the past where we got out a little sooner than the move that we had anticipated. But let's kind of zoom in a little bit. You get a better idea of these levels that we're looking at. Let's just come over here. All right, here we are. So you can get a good idea. As we kind of get closer to the opening, that's when we're going to want to make sure our limit orders are in. And again, we were looking at 27.25. We did miss it earlier in the morning, but that's fine. We will stick to our plan, and our plan dictates that we're trying to stay small because of volatility, and that's worked out quite well. Now, staying small for some people may be just one lot, one contract, two contracts. We recommend staying small, especially as you learn how to trade. I'm just at a point where I'll put on, if I'm going to stay small, 10 contracts. So again, you want to keep in mind the levels. So just kind of pointing these out. And just reading some of your comments. Yeah, I am using Charles Schwab, and just want to point out the candlestick patterns. You can look up other technical patterns. So I hope you can see that on the screen. We have gone ahead and emailed and sent out SMS and direct messenger, in a direct message as well. Our entry point 2725. We have the limit order is in 2725 is what we're waiting on. And you should be able to see Arnold's screens as well. Okay. So we're about to release a video on expected ranges. When there's a lot of volatility, there's a certain amount of points you can look to expect and try to capture here in the S&P E-minis. On a day like today, 3 to 5 points. If we have a lot of volatility, then it could be even bigger than that, as much as 10 to 12. But again, we're aware that this 27.25 could be a failure, and we want to keep our range tight that we are going to trade this morning. Uh, vol- the opening it can be quite volatile, which is why our preference is towards index ETFs. But we do also specialize in futures. And so for today and kind of the environment we're in right now, we're trying to keep a very tight range, also a very small contract size. So keep an eye on this. So I'm going to let it keep rolling. I'll let Arnold, let's see here, 20. Right, and I'm going to just let the feed continue and to kind of keep you updated. We're watching this closely. And I'll even bring up a tick chart so we can look at it. 27.25. Back to the 1 minute here. We've talked a lot about not getting too focused on the noise that comes with some of these smaller time frames. Again, our preference is to start with a multi-year, then a year to date, then 6 months, work our way down to a 5 minute chart. A 1 minute really is just to see um, how close an entry is going to be. We've already determined where we're getting in. We just, sometimes want to watch it. We will go down to a smaller time frame, like the 1 minute. If 27.25 doesn't hold, then we can expect to see it pull all the way back down. That 27.17 has been a good mark for us to use for support and for entries. But if it moves that far, we're not going to realize something like that. We're going to definitely have a stop in. 27.24 could be one of the initial temporary or kind of intraday resistance, supports. Um, a break of that, just past that, could be a stop. We are going to watch it closely though, because we had a little bit of failure that the last session, um, but it quickly rebounded and came back. So we're here looking for 27.25 entry. So that's Y 27.30. 27.30, if you notice, is yesterday's, or excuse me, the overnight, early this morning level of support that was broken through and came all the way down here to test 27.25. So again, 27.25 up to 27.30. If it breaks through 27.30, where it failed to be support earlier in the morning here, then we could see it go all the way back up to these overnight highs. Just going to continue to wait. Okay, so we did get a question. How do you know when to change your entry price? We We don't, part of our education courses, the basic and advanced, we talk a little bit about not chasing entries. So when there's prominent levels where there's a lot of occurrences, so for example, the support, it's tested and held, tested and held, tested and held. Well, we want our entry to be on one of those tested points, which is why we have signaled for 27.25. Now, if you try to go up a couple of points, it could very it just puts you in a position where you don't have the same trade profile as far as risk and reward, as far as having a tight stop to protect you, especially with futures. So chasing an entry, trying to, you know, not being able to sit on your hands. For example, if we were trying to go ahead and get uh, our 10 contracts, or if you're trading small and you're just sticking to a contract or two going after 27.27, then that kind of will change your it'll change your mentality as far as how you approach trading. You'll start to chase things more often. You'll start to take positions off. You'll start to maybe even get a bigger ego and trade bigger size, more lots. So being patient, being focused on, okay, here's a level I feel comfortable entering. Here's a level that's been held with volume and all the other indicators that we'll talk about. That's the level you want to be disciplined and take your entry there. So we're just going to sit here and wait. Yeah, there's some other great questions. Why are there not any moving averages? Again, we on bigger position trades, we're looking more closely at volume, either on the horizontal axis as it is right now, or on the vertical. And the volume will tend to give you their um, idea of support and resistance. Moving averages are helpful, and we talk about those and use those. For this morning, though, we are not looking at. Just gonna look here. All right, sorry about that. Just putting this horizontal line out for everyone. Um, for this morning, we're looking at a tight range, and just you want to keep the chart clean. We know where we want to get in. We have an idea, and we have an idea of where we want to get out. All right, another question. Yeah, the bundle. Yeah, so our intention was to just have everything free. Okay, here we go. You can just see how quickly the futures move, how quickly it moves. 27.25 were filled. Just messing around here. May levels. 27.25, we are filled here. 10 lot, 10 contracts. Drew here at 27.29. Okay. We've been filled on 27.25, 10 lot, 10 contracts. That was our signal this morning. We wanted to try to get in there, and 27.30 was where we're going to target our exit. We might go ahead and a lot of times we do try to get the meat of the move. So if you're right on a trade and the range, I think the problem with this morning, our ranges are very, very tight. And it's you can see how quickly it can move from top to bottom. And when the range is tight, you want to, um, for lack of better words, you just want to scalp. You want to get in and out. We're primarily position traders, and you saw that in our silver and gold videos. And we're gonna have another follow-up video come out, kind of giving you an update, but um, just kind of walking through how we're still long. See here. Yeah, so 27.29 3/4. We just need 25 more cents. And we're filled. So we have been taken out 27.30. So we have our 5 point move 27.25 to 27.30. We are out. Man, so many of you are getting out now, still hitting it. A lot of you comment that it kind of looks like the middle of the range, and that is partly true. Kind of watching it here. It's a pretty violent move that got us in, and quickly within you know 5 minutes or so, we're right back up to 27.29, and we're able to get taken out here at 27.30. So we had our buys, our sells. We're in, we're out. Just kind of measure this. 5% move, 5.25. So on 10 contracts, it's $2,500. So I mean, 5 points trading small um, shows you that this market is volatile. A lot of times we're looking for a couple of points in these tight ranges, but to get five, it just goes to show you that there's a lot of volatility in the market. Now, again, when you're in the trade, you have an idea of how much each tick is, how much each point is, how many, what your sizing is like, and sizing is just something you build up to. So, um, and it's just relative to the type of account that you're trading. If you're just starting out, one contract and being consistent is way more important than trying to size up. And we'll be sure to talk a lot about that in some future videos for everyone. But all right, so just wanted to give you the last little bit here. Um, Unbelievable how it. I mean, we would have been stopped out, or it would have been so fast that we would have been just taking one on the chin. It goes to show you how volatile futures are, how our preference is towards ETFs. And you can see that we've gone all the way back down to 27.17. That's been a big level for us. And I mean, we look at price action, but fundamentally, this is definitely a news related catalyst. Uh, Donald Trump, North Korea, maybe even concerns over China and the quote, trade war. But it goes to show you we got our 5 points. The range was tight. It could have easily broken out either way. But when it breaks out against you, you have to get out. You have to have these tight stops. So we did talk about 27.24. It looks like we would have been able to get out at that point. Um, and this happens in trading. This is not something where, our signals were able to predict this at all. Not at all. So this is just chalk it up to getting quite lucky. Quite lucky to be in, uh, traded small. So if you're trading one contract and you see a move like that against you, that's why we want to be consistent with our entries, consistent with our exits, consistent with our profits. And then when we see something like this, we know that man, it's a lot of volume and a lot of very aggressive move down. So some buying came in at 27.17. We'd like to see that, but we kind of want to watch the rest of this. We're going into a holiday session coming up. Uh, we're not likely to have any signals for tomorrow or trade tomorrow. And I know review over why we're still long gold and silver. We'll put that together for everybody. We'll go ahead and get that out to you as soon as possible. We'll be having it on the YouTube channel as well, so you can follow along. And again, if you're in the middle of some of the lessons, make sure that you're continuing to stay on top of that. Each week, again, we meet through these e-courses, and we have a different veteran trader for each class that we've put together, and we appreciate it. We appreciate your dedication so far. A lot of you have gotten through the beginner e-course, and you're working on the advanced index trading. So again, have a great weekend. Have a great holiday weekend. We'll keep watching this, and it's an impressive way to close out the week. Um, nice profit, $2,500 on my end. I know many of you are posting your profits, and it's great. We want to be consistent, and this is you can't predict price movements like this. So for us, it's pretty fortunate to be in and out and not take this. But you know what? There are going to be losing trades, and we could have tried to target say 27.31 and not aim for the meat of the move, or maybe this had happened even sooner. So that's why you have to be very disciplined with your stops. And yeah, this is looking pretty substantial move down. So we'll continue to watch this. We're gonna, I know, we're gonna switch here to start talking about gold and silver because we're long those. Yeah, I know several of you have some comments on VU and Spider and others, so we'll be sure to answer those questions. Um, but yeah, I think everybody's having more than not taking this one on the chin. So let's keep watching this. And it is, we might have to zoom out after a while because it's all the way back down to 27.17. We've played that so often here this past couple of weeks. Yeah, so good question. Do we try to be strategic with event driven uh, trades and we've talked a lot about in the courses and on these live trades and in our weekly Q&A with traders, we talk a lot about reversion to the mean. That's our preference because when you get parabolic moves up or down, when you get gaps, when you get breakouts of patterns,